What's going on, guys? Estabel MMA here with more Thursday night sparring here with one of our blue belts, Boer. Here we start standing up. Boer goes to shoot a takedown. I grab him into the guillotine here and just drop my hips and sprawl. From here, I started to go for a Darce, but I didn't really have it. So from here, I switched to a Kimura lock. I used that mostly as a controlling position, but Boer was adamant about fighting the grips. Also, by this time, we were pretty sweaty. There was a few rolling sessions, so you'll see I'll kind of slip out of some positions, and it's because of how wet things are here. I'm able to slip to side control. I'm actually did the Sao Paulo pass technique. That's my 1 minute technique you see here. I actually end up pulling it off. And then here, I get the tap. So actually what I did was I switched his hand. I had his hand trapped. I went to side control, mount, and then I do the arm lock as I switch over. So as Boer's coming here, he's working into my half guard, which is usually where I'm strongest. Then I start to kind of go into a De La Hiva. He does a good job of dropping his knee and turning out. And then he kind of forces me into a butterfly, and then he ends up hopping up here. He tries to double under, but he doesn't use any posture or anything, so I end up just pulling his head down and getting him into a pretty easy guillotine, which is why I tap him there so quick. Usually if you're going to try to double under, you'll want to be on your knees, and you want to base a little bit better than he did. But again, he's still a new blue belt, so there's a lot of things that he still has to learn. Here he's working on trying to pass. Kind of leaving things open to see what he can do there. He does a good job of hopping over, but he doesn't really have any balance behind it. So from here, I've got him in half guard, and I've actually got my hand in between his, again, kind of like a Kimura lock, using it as a controlling position. He actually does a kind of a top lockdown, which doesn't really help him in this position. So there I'm able to pull my leg down, and then I use that to sweep him and end up in the mount position. So from here, I'm just working his arm. I actually have his arm across his neck. I'm not really sure what the submission's called, but the one where you essentially use the person's own arm to choke him. But he was able to, again, squeeze out. It was extremely slippery by this point. You know, we had, this was maybe our third or fourth round of rolling at this point in time. So here I'm placing heavy shoulder pressure. You see he's trying to kind of bridge out, which isn't the best when the person's on top and they're placing heavy shoulder pressure. And then as I pass, I've already got the arm triangle lock in, which I get it. You'll see me a lot of the times in my rolling sessions, I'll catch the lower belts with a lot of the same submissions. Usually if I'm rolling someone of a higher level, you'll see more variety of techniques. But with these guys, I'll kind of limit what I'm trying to do, or kind of just perfect some of the stuff I enjoy doing a lot of here. I go to take his back, and then he screams out, and I end up in the side position. Now here, again, I have his arm around his neck. I really was trying to work to get this submission, so I'm trying to pull his hand around his head to get the choke. He does a good job of defending. And so from here, as I see, I'm not going to get the choke. I just switch here. I've still got the hand in position. And I was very close, but he does a good job of turning down. And then I just switched to, again, get a Kimura lock, but he was so slippery. You see he kind of just switches his hips and spins out because of how slippery he was. Then here he goes to try to work butterfly, but he doesn't really know what he wants to do from that point. So from here, he gets up and tries to take me down. I use that as an opportunity to kind of sweep him down, and then get back into side control. Here I started to go for an anaconda choke, but he does a good job of defending the arm underneath and kind of swimming out here. So I don't force the choke as I'm coming through to the other side. I'm just holding it, using it as a controlling position, and that's which you'll see a lot of times. If you have a solid submission, you can use it as a controlling position if it's not locked in. And then this ends up ending our session. So thank you guys again for watching. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. Thank you.